Hello, it's me, French Ted, and we are back for episode number 6, I want to say. Week 2, May, 4 plus 2, 6. Episode 6. And yeah, as you guys can see straight off the bat, no one is unhappy with me anymore. That's because I paid them all. Yeah, I didn't know how to get rid of some morale issues, and a couple people that have the bigger morale issues are ones that I'm planning on using soon. So I figured instead of making them slowly happy, I'd make them quickly happy, and just gave them all a sum of money, which I can show you here. Workers. So for the entire month of April, we spent 1.5 million on wages and whatever else. So far this month, in week 2, we've spent 1.5 million on workers. So yeah, everyone's happy now, so everyone should perform well. That's how it works, right? I mean, there's only one way to find out. So yeah, let's jump straight into the... Wait, hold on, I think I had news. No, I didn't. I think someone was retiring, but I already had them as a road agent. It was Sarah Stock. She is said to be retiring, but we've only got her as a road agent, so it doesn't matter at all. Let's head into the locker room where there are some backstage... Well, there's one backstage incident. And oh, once again, it's Sting bringing someone, I guess, to wrestling court. Yeah. So Sammy Guevara was brought before the wrestlers' court accused of making a mess backstage and not cleaning up after himself. The judge, Sting, found himself guilty and sentenced him to clean it up, then buy drinks for everyone. Sammy Guevara has the prickly personality. Interesting. Sting once again being the judge. I'd love to know who would be the judge if Sting wasn't here. Like, who would it be? Jericho? I'd say Jericho. Or Eddie Kingston. He seems like the kind of guy that wants to stick his nose in everything. But yeah, Sammy Guevara being prickly. That's a very interesting word. Not how I'd describe him, but hey ho. We are in the Mid-Atlantic this week for Dynamite, Rampage and Collision at the Entertainment and Sports Arena. So, you know, without waffling any further, let's just get straight into AEW Dynamite. Okay, here we are. We are with the pre-show. We've got 4 pre-show segments this week. One of them being this throwaway segment because I'm sick of seeing Chavo Guerrero is yet to debut his gimmick. So Chavo Guerrero says hi to the crowd just so that he can get a gimmick rating. And he's got it, and it's great. Thumbs up. 39, you know. I hired Chavo as a road agent a few weeks ago. He's yet to show his face on TV, so here we go. Also, one thing that I want to mention now that happens throughout the show, we're not going to see it referenced, is Taz is obviously on commentary. He's got the FTW world title over his shoulder, and it was announced on Twitter or something that Christian is not here tonight because he's nursing a couple of wounds from the beatdown that he took last week. So just so you know, all throughout the night, Taz has got that belt on his shoulder and he just mentions it every now and then, you know, oh, it feels good to be champ again, you know, all of that. But yeah, let's move on to the actual first pre-show match, which is Swerve Strickland and Brian Cage. We're yet to see them versus Ari Daivari and Josh Woods, who I think we're also yet to see. So 4 new people. Strickland and Cage win in a 60 rated match. Not too bad. Brian Cage with 52, Swerve with a 61, and Josh Woods and Ari Daivari also around the 50. So yeah, that's not actually too bad. See, this is what happens. You use people you don't use, and you suddenly think, oh, actually, they're not too bad. We could maybe use them again. But pre-show match out the way. Swerve and Brian Cage got a win. Nice. Next one is a big women's tag match. Athena is here. We're teaming up with Billy Starks and Sky Blue against Penelope Ford, Layla Hirsch, and Yuka Sakazaki. 12 minutes. Athena pins Penelope Ford with a top rope stunner. Looking at the performances, Yuka Sakazaki actually does the best in this match. And here we are gassing up Athena. Maybe we're looking at the wrong gal. But either way, Athena got the win. 50 rated segment. Nice. Moving on, we've got our final pre-show match, which is Bandido versus Mark Briscoe. And in a nice quick 9-minute match, Bandido defeats Mark Briscoe with a 65 rating. So yeah, not bad. This is pretty good. Mark Briscoe, groundswell of public support. I'm assuming that's probably because of the passing of his brother, which makes sense. He's been getting a lot of TV time lately, and rightly so. The Briscoes, were great back in the day, and individually they're both great as well. So yeah, only the pre-show for Mark for me, but we might see him in the future. Then again, we might not. But yeah, we're going to be heading into the main show now. We've got some interesting matches and segments, as well as the TNT Tournament final between Konosuke Takeshita and Blake Christian. So we've got that to look forward to, which is our main event of tonight. But first, we have good old Keith Lee, finally, thanks to Tony Khan, can get his hands on one of the Bullet Club Gold members. And that member is Juice Robinson. So in 11 minutes and 46 seconds, Keith Lee defeats Juice Robinson with a Spirit Bomb. This got a 61 rating, pretty good. Keith Lee 64, Juice 41. I do think that the Juice ratings are a little bit harsh. I mean, he's a great wrestler. Like, his gimmick's annoying as hell, I know that. But like, if you've seen any of his New Japan stuff, like, he's great. So yeah, put some respect on my boys' in-ring performances. But yeah, got the crowd off to got the show to a strong start, and got the crowd hotter, which is what we want to see. Keith Lee, my boy. Post-match, Jay White tries to sneak attack Keith Lee. However, he is interrupted by Rhodes, who is returning from being beaten down last week. And this just turns into a massive all-out brawl between Bullet Club Gold and Keith Lee and Dustin Rhodes. They kind of brawl out of the ring and up the ramp, and it just, goes off screen. Juice was underwhelming. What a surprise. Everyone else, great. Got the angle, got the crowd hotter. So, Jay White, Flavor of the Month still. Long may that continue, please. And yeah, they're now out of the ring brawling, which means we can carry on with the show and head to our next match, which is some singles competition featuring the Blackpool Combat Club, and more specifically, Jon Moxley. And in a relatively straightforward match, Jon Moxley defeats Tony Nese in 10 minutes 32 with the Paradigm Shift. So Moxley gets an 80 rating, which is fantastic to see. Maybe we should start using him more if he's going to get ratings like that. And a 73 overall for the whole segment. Just imagine what that number would be if we didn't put him up against Tony Nese. Like, no offense to Tony Nese, but he's probably in the jobber spectrum of our roster. So be interesting to see how he'd do if he faced someone a little bit higher up the card. But that might happen sooner rather than later. Who knows? Following that match, Brian and the rest of the BCC come into the ring. Do a little post-match promo. They specifically call out Adam Cole and Roderick Strong, calling them amateurs over and over again, and also calling them cowards because, they keep, missing each other. So they just say, they're cowards. They don't want to face us head on. Like, where are they? Where is Adam Cole? Where is Roderick Strong? And, say the name too many times and they might appear. And so they did. Roderick Strong and Adam Cole come out to the ramp and just say, we're not afraid of you guys. We will, fight you whenever you're ready. But how about this Saturday, Utah? Because we haven't seen you in the ring for a while. How about me and you go one-on-one? That's Roderick Strong calling out Wheeler Utah, which, of course, Utah nods ferociously, you could say. So that's a match we've got booked for this Saturday's Collision, Roderick Strong versus Wheeler Utah. I believe that's the first time we'll see either of them in singles action in this save, so should be interesting. 6-1 rated segment here. Roderick Strong was underwhelming. Okay. I mean, he's not much of a talker, is he? He's more of a doer, so we'll let him off the hook. Following that, though, we have a backstage segment where we catch up with our old man Sting. And Sting finds Darby Allin backstage, cleaning the wheels of his skateboard. And Sting just says, hey, where were you last week? I was on my own out there and I thought you'd have my back. Isn't that what we're meant to be? We're meant to be friends. I have your back, you have my back. And Darby kind of was just like, hey, the issues that you have with MJF aren't my issues. It's not my place to get involved. You wanted the match, you had the match, and I'm sorry that the result didn't go our way, but I'm not gonna get involved where I'm not needed to be. So Darby Allin doing the, mature thing, I guess. Keeping his head out of things that don't concern him at the end of the day, because it was Sting that created this kind of animosity between MJF and all this beef, and he's the one that wanted the unsanctioned match. So Darby Allin, mad props to him for kind of being the mature one, especially when there's a 40 odd age gap between these two guys. But Sting does not look very happy as Darby Allin walks off screen. So a little bit of tension between Sting and Darby, from what I can see. Following this, Renee is interviewing one of our finalists, Blake Christian. Just says, "How you feeling, Blake?" He's a man of few words. Just says he's looking forward to proving all the doubters wrong, and he's gonna win. Simple as. Nice straight talking from Blake Christian. Definitely the surprise package of the tournament. I think with names like Miro, Ricky Starks, Pac, you would have thought that they'd be heading to the finals. But no, Blake Christian surprised us all and made Pac very angry for losing. But it's okay. We paid him an absurd amount to be happy again. We stay backstage again just before our next match, which features these three ladies. And Jamie Hayter just apologizes to Britt and Hikaru Shida again and just says, "Hey, I'm really sorry about last time out when I wasn't there to help you. I promise I've got your back and I'll have your back from now on. Like, my bad. I put my hands up." And Britt's like, "It's okay. These things happen, but as long as you do have my back, I've got your back." And Hikaru Shida's also there, in solidarity. They seem like they're a strong unit again. There was a little bit of tension, but it seems like they've made things up, and they're heading out in this next match as a 3 in a trios match against Diamante and the Renegade Twins. So I've been using Diamante and the Renegade Twins as kind of my trios jobbers, but they randomly put in some pretty good performances. So we might have to reassess this. I don't know. We might have to repackage them. But we're in the now. And in the now, we've got Jamie Hayter with a 70 performance rating, which is so good. And Hikaru Shida with a 63. Those two are definitely the stars in terms of performance of our division. And then there's a few just below them. I'd say probably like Britt, Saraya, Nyla Rose gets good numbers. We saw that Yuka Sakazaki was in the 60s as well. So we're building a nice little group of people that we can trust. But yeah, in about that had decent wrestling and not much heat. Team DMD, so it seems like they're using the old Team DMD with Hikaru Shida included, defeat Diamante and the Renegade Twins in 9 minutes when Shida makes Robin Renegade submit in a 61 rated match. So that's a pretty good match for who's involved in this, especially on the losing side. This then takes us straight into our next match, which is a tag team featuring 2 members of House of Black, who like to call themselves the Kings of the Black Throne. That's Brody King and Malachi Black, and they face off against the Hardys. So in a decent match, 13 minutes and 22 seconds, Brody King pins Matt Hardy with the Dante's Inferno. Buddy Matthews and Julia Hart are also ringside for this. So post-match, they all come into the ring, hold their belts up, and celebrate, when suddenly the lights go out. And you'd think, oh, that's kind of normal. House of Black, the lights usually go out. But this time, it's not them controlling it. Up on the screen, we see darkness, followed by 2 masked men and a very greasy-haired, goblin-looking man. You know who I'm on about. It's Pac. So Pac and Penta El Zero and Rey Fenix are on screen, aka Death Triangle, and they announced that they are interested, very interested, in the trios belts. So that could be something to look forward to very, very soon. And that seems to be it for that segment. Just very simple, ominous, straightforward. This could be something we see in the future, but polite reminder that Don Callis' kind of makeshift elite trio of Kenny Omega, Ricky Starks and Adam Page are still sniffing around those belts. Well, according to Don Callis, they are. But let's move on, which is actually our final segment of the night, the main event, the TNT Tournament Finals, with Konosuke Takeshita and Blake Christian. Who's your money on, guys? Let me know. And let's find out in 3, 2, 1. In a bout that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Konosuke Takeshita defeats Blake Christian in 14 minutes and 52 seconds by submission with the Wall of Takeshita. This match was the final of the TNT Tournament, and Konosuke Takeshita is your TNT Tournament champion and therefore the #1 contender for Powerhouse Hobbs' TNT Championship. And that match will take place at Double or Nothing in 2 weeks' time. A 72 rated match. If you told me before this save I'd get a 72 rated match that involved Blake Christian, I would have laughed. But this little pet project I'm building is slowly getting there. It definitely helps that Takeshita and Blake Christian have great chemistry, which is something that we may have to return to get those numbers again. But I think with every match that Blake's been in, it's gone from, I think it was like high 40s, low 50s, mid 50s. Now it's high 50s. And obviously Takeshita's a beast, so 73 rating. Yeah, very happy with this main event. High fives, hugs to everyone involved. And yeah, that's our main event. The show goes off air. However, that's not our final segment. This is kind of a post-match Twitter, YouTube exclusive. The Elite, or that's what they're calling, that's what Don Callis is calling them, because 2 of them are unofficial members right now. But Don Callis just reminds everyone that even though Death Triangle made that threat to House of Black, they need to get in line because the Elite want those belts. And the Elite in this scenario doesn't include the Young Bucks. They've kind of been a little bit separated from them recently. This Elite involves Kenny Omega, Hangman Adam Page, and Ricky Starks. So it seems like they are wanting those trios belts just as much as Death Triangle. And just in, some news, there will be a #1 contenders match this Saturday at Collision between Omega, Starks and Page and Death Triangle. And the winner of that match will go on to Double or Nothing to face House of Black. So let's finish the show and see how we did. 73, nice. I'll take a 73. This was quite a fun show from my perspective. We got Moxley on, which is great. I've been trying to find a way to get him in, and I figured the best way is to just force him in. Jay White and Rhodes finally got hands on each other again. Well, Rhodes finally got hands on Jay. So that's advancing nicely. Strong and Utah this Saturday. So that's one match we know about. Death Triangle versus the Elite. Another match we know about this Saturday. So that should be a good show. There is also Orange Cassidy defending his international title this Saturday too. Yeah. And also we've got Takeshita and Blake Christian putting on a really great match. And I'm very happy for them. So yeah, let's end this here, and I'll see you guys at the Rampage results, and then we'll head straight into Collision. And we're back, and here we are for our AEW Rampage show. A simple one, as they always are. Yuka Sakazaki, after getting that killer rating of 60 on Dynamite, I thought we'd see how she does in one-on-one action, and turns out not very good. She defeated Madison Rayne in a 30 rated segment, and Sakazaki got a 47, so maybe she's better in tag team matches. Who knows? And then we had the Butcher and the Blade defeat SoCal Uncensored. As I mentioned in a previous episode, Christopher Daniels is just going to be eating pins left, right and center until he fucks off. The next segment isn't with Rampage Garcia, it's with Dance Teacher Garcia. He teaches a little dance class for the crowd, you know, because he's got those moves. You've seen him do them. We love him. And then the main event is Eddie Kingston versus Isaiah Cassidy. Not Brother Zay, or whatever his name is at the moment. Isaiah Cassidy. And Kingston wins in a 51. So 48 overall. Rampage doesn't matter, let's be honest. And I don't think there's anything else to report. So let's head straight to the locker room where there is no backstage incidents. Oh, Sting's probably not found someone to pick on this week, so that's good. And as we said before, entertainment and sports arena in the Mid-Atlantic region. Let's get straight into it. AEW Collision. Okay, and here we go. In our first pre-show match, we've got Preston Vance and Rush of La Facción Ingobernables against Colt Cabana and Evil Uno of the Dark Order. And in 8 minutes, Rush pinned Colt Cabana with the Rush driver. 62 rated match, not too bad. This was mostly this was my wild brawl of the night, and all of these guys have apparently got quite good brawling skills, and it shows. Rush had a 70 performance, so he's a sleeper talent, so we need to keep an eye on him, and also need to keep reminding myself that Andrade is back from injury, so maybe we can get some Rush and Andrade action in the future. But let's move on. It's just so this is more of like a Twitter video, but it's being shown on the pre-show. Athena said that she wants another shot at Jade Cargill. She wants it to be fair. You know, she wants to fight with honor. If there's anything that Ring of Honor has taught her, it's that you fight with honor. And I mean, even though in real life she's a bit of a bully, but in my save, she's a good girl, which means she's going to turn face. And it was a complete success. So Athena is now face, and her face is pointed right at the TBS title. 53 rated, not bad. Nice to see that she's a good talker, so I'll remember that. Moving on, Rampage Garcia is now on Collision, and he is facing Jeff Hardy in a pre-show match. And in 9 minutes and 58 seconds, Daniel Garcia defeats Jeff Hardy with the sharpshooter. So Garcia got a 61 rating. He's getting better. Nice. And Jeff Hardy had an in-ring rating of 50. Boo. And following that, I think, is the final pre-show segment, which is Chris Jericho bursts into the ring, over-celebrating with Daniel Garcia because someone in the JAS knows how to win a match. Because, as we've seen in most recent weeks, that doesn't happen. And when that doesn't happen, you get kicked out of the JAS. Just ask Anna J, formerly known as Anna JAS. So Garcia is in Jericho's good books, so I think the rest of the alliance need to pull their finger out. But that's everything in the pre-show. Let's head straight into the main show with a new segment, or should I say a new chat show. That's right, MJF has his own chat show. MJF presents Scarf Talk, which is his own Jerry Springer style show. Because he noticed last week there was a little bit of tension between Sting and Darby Allin, and what better way to relieve that tension is to host a little chat show where they can talk it out, or what MJF hopes, fight it out. As you can see, this is a 93 rated segment. MJF, according to these notes, was a real star. I think we all know that MJF's a star. He was superb working all out a script, and he still has that hot catchphrase. What is the hot catchphrase? Let me know. But yeah, during this whole segment, MJF is just playing devil's advocate. He's goading both of them into being further and further pissed off with each other, Like, Darby, Sting had your back. He elevated your career. He gave you these chances. He taught you so much. And what do? You just leave him high and dry to face me without any help? Are you crazy? And then he goes on Sting's side and he says, he goes to Darby and he says, but also think about it though, Sting was probably the reason why you're not the world champion right now and I still am, because if he didn't get involved in the match, maybe you wouldn't have won by count out, you could have won by pin, maybe. And he's like, Sting, Darby's shown nothing but disrespect to you, my dude. Where was he in your match? And you can see that there's tension building. Sting and Darby Allin square up to each other at one point, but then they realise that they're not the enemy. They have a common enemy, and that is Maxwell Jacob Friedman. So Sting and Darby Allin decide very vocally to put whatever issues they have aside, because they're friends, they have a history together, they can sort it out. But what they can't deal with right now is the thorn in their side that is MJF. So Sting politely reminds Darby Allin, hey Darby, you were the number one contender for the world championship, and technically you beat the world champion. even though the title didn't change hands, that means that you are still within your rights of a shot at the AEW World Championship. And Darby says, "Oh, you're right, Sting. I think I might have to cash that contendership in. Maybe I'll do it at Double or Nothing. What do you think about that, MJF?" MJF is like, "Well, I mean, you do what you want, but like, do you really want to be doing that with all this tension between you and Sting?" And he's like, "No, you know what? I think I am going to do it. So Double or Nothing, MJF, me, Darby Allin, versus you for the world title." And the crowd obviously is like, "Wow, we got our world title match!" And MJF is starting to lose it. He's telling the crowd to shut up, and he turns around and he goes to hit Darby Allin. Darby Allin moves. Sting catches him, hits him with one of Sting's moves. My mind's gone blank. I can't remember any of them. The reverse DDT, whatever he calls it. And Darby Allin and Sting stand tall while MJF is, being knocked down in his own bloody talk show. So yeah, massive segment at the beginning of this show. Seems like Sting and Darby Allin have put their differences aside, and Darby Allin and MJF is official for Double or Nothing, our main event of the night 2 weeks from now, or 2 weeks Sunday. Yeah, that's a lot of talking. Let's move on to the first match of the show, which is the Young Bucks versus, that was meant to be Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn, not Colt Cabana. Let's pretend it was Colton Gunn, because I'm not re-recording any of this. So in a 68 rated match, turns out Austin Gunn and Colt Cabana aren't too bad together. Actually, no, they're not. Austin Gunn and Colt Cabana don't work well as a team at all. Their timing's all over the place. Either way, the Bucks got a 68 out of a terrible setup. The Young Bucks defeat them in 8 minutes with the Meltzer driver. Nick with an 80, and Matt with a 73. Still keeping up that trend. I think the last time we saw the Bucks, Matt was the higher rating, and then Nick was the lower. So they like to flip-flop. But yeah, a little bit annoyed about this. Ignore it. You know what I meant. And then we go to a televised, pre-recorded segment. Christian Cage is sat on his sofa at home with his arm in a sling, just nursing some wounds. He's got Luchasaurus behind him, waving a palm tree leaf or something. He's just saying, after my brutal attack from Taz and Hook, I am currently injured and I'll need some time to recover. So thank you for your thoughts and prayers, everyone. I'll be back soon. Don't worry. And obviously Taz on commentary is pissed himself, just being like, look at this guy. Like, what a joke. Still holding the title, by the way. So he's still the unofficial champ, I guess. But let's move on to our next match, which I believe is Roderick Strong and Wheeler Yuta. So in a decent match, Roderick Strong defeated Wheeler Yuta in 16 minutes by submission with a strong hold. So Strong with a 54, Yuta with a 60. Oh, Strong, man. You got to pull your finger out, my dude. Taz and Excalibur were great. Commentary was great. Yuta benefited from being the flavor of the month. The match was poorly placed, though, because a technical match isn't the right thing to do by feeding a rowdy crowd. So these two technical dudes probably should have opened the show, maybe. Ease the crowd into it rather than kind of killing that pacing, I guess, after such a hot opening segment with Scarf Talk by MJF. But yeah, Roderick Strong gets the 1-up on Wheeler. So that's Colon Strong 2, BCC 0. And post-match, you know what's going to happen. BCC are going to try and attack. And what ends up happening is Cole and Strong manage to evade an attack. And instead, they grab the mics and they challenge not one, not two, not three, but all 4 members of the Blackpool Combat Club to a match at Double or Nothing. And they say, don't worry, it's not going to be a handicap. We have friends and they aren't amateurs, and we're going to prove to you that we're not amateurs. So what do you say, guys? And straight away they grab the mic and they say, yep, you're on. So Double or Nothing, again, another match booked. We're going to have a 4-on-4. It's the Blackpool Combat Club versus Strong, Cole, and 2 mystery opponents. Will they be revealed before the show? I'll have to wait and see. Decent segment, 66, got the crowd hotter, which is what we needed after the technical shambles. Following that, we've got a backstage segment with Jay White just kind of seething with anger after the brawl last week, and that they haven't put away Dustin Rhodes or Keith Lee yet. Frustrations are building. Juice is like, I don't know, pulling weird faces. They're just saying that they need them gone. We need to do something to rid AEW of Dustin Rhodes and Keith Lee. So whatever plan they're hatching, I'm sure it's not good. So we'll have to wait and see to see how that progresses. 67 segment, not bad. Jay White benefiting again from being in Flavor of the Month, and it's getting the crowd hotter. Following this is a tag team match. It seems like Jade Cargill has teamed up with Nyla Rose, which our suspicions were correct. And she and Nyla defeat Aaliyah James and Santana Garrett in 7 minutes when Nyla pins Aaliyah James with the Beast Bomb. Nyla with a 55, Santana with a 42, Cargill with a 39, not bad. But it seems like Cargill has made the right move in hiring, we could say, or aligning herself with Nyla Rose, because she definitely is a force to be reckoned with. 50 rating segment, not too bad, not too great. Although Athena is definitely going to be watching this match with close eyes. Following this, we've got a small, very short backstage segment with Orange Cassidy, who's preparing himself and making his way to the ring. But just as he's walking down the hallway, he spots Blake Christian. He kind of just stops for a second, looks him up and down. Blake's like, what the fuck is he looking at? And Orange Cassidy just gives him a little thumbs up. And then he continues to make his way to the ring. So, not too sure what the thumbs up means. Maybe he's given Blake a little nod, just saying, good work in the last few weeks, or who knows. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. It's Orange Cassidy at the end of the day. So, yeah. And that's a 66 rated segment. Not too bad. So, as you know, Orange Cassidy is making his way to the ring, which means he is defending his title tonight against Jungle Boy Jack Perry. And Orange Cassidy defeats Jack Perry in 14 minutes with the Orange Punch. Cassidy makes defense number 17 of his AEW International title. Cassidy got a 56, Jack Perry with a 63, and they both have good chemistry. So that is another thing to make a mental note of. And Orange Cassidy benefited from having a hot new move. I think they said that in his last match. So I don't know if that's referring to the same new move, or he's just got a new move every week. It's Orange Cassidy at the end of the day. Anything can happen with that guy. Following this, Sammy Guevara has very tentatively approached Chris Jericho. You don't really want to be getting on Jericho's bad side, especially if you're a member of the JAS. And it seems like Tay Mello is poking and prodding Sammy to say something, and Sammy just wanted to talk to Jericho about Anna Jay's dismissal and was like, hey man, do you think that was the right thing to do? Like, morale's quite low. Tay feels quite lonely being the only woman in the JAS. We're all doing our best. We're an appreciation society at the end of the day. Like, we appreciate you, and we just don't want there to be any ill feeling, bad blood. And Jericho's just like, there's no bad blood. He's like, at the end of the day, I don't want my team to be full of losers, and Anna's a loser, so she's out. And he's like, also Tay, if you don't have the cojones to say something to me, then maybe I need to rethink your position. And then Sammy's like, whoa, we're just asking, man, chill out. And Chris is like, I think it's best we leave it here. And he shuts the door on them. So even more tension in the JAS. So I reckon it goes Daniel Garcia's number one, and then everyone else is right at the bottom. So yeah, Jericho needs to do something soon, I guess, because it's just going to get worse, I assume, unless everyone suddenly starts winning. But yeah, 65 rated segment, not too bad. Let's move on, and I believe the next segment is our main event, the number one contenders match for an opportunity to face House of Black at Double or Nothing. Oh, and it is. And in a bout that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, Kenny Omega, Adam Page, and Ricky Starks, aka the Temporary Elite, defeat Death Triangle, Pac, Penta, and Ray in 22 minutes and 26 seconds when Kenny Omega pins Pac after a V-trigger. Ricky Starks was the weak link. That doesn't matter. He's on the winning side. That's an 80 rated match, which is pretty good. I think this is our best match of the series so far. So happy days. So Ricky got a 58. Adam Page with a 70. Kenny Omega with a 79. Ray Phoenix being the MVP with an 81. Penta with a 68. And Pac with a 78. So yeah, great match. This isn't the last you'll see of Death Triangle, I'm sure. But for now, they do have to take that backseat. Because the temporary elite of Kenny Omega, Adam Page, and Ricky Starks are your new number one contenders. And that is a third match, I think. A third match from tonight's card that has been booked for Double or Nothing. So yeah, Double or Nothing is slowly getting stacked. And that finishes our show. So let's see how we did. A 78 rating show. Nice. I think that's one of our best. Top 3, I'd say. Yeah, great main event. You love it when the main event is the highest rated match of the show. I feel like we could have done better if we didn't fuck up here with the guns. Annoying that we've got a Colt Cabana and a Colton gun. Another reason to do a Cole, because when the hell am I ever going to want Colt Cabana on my main show? I mean, he's here. Man did double duty and I didn't even realise. Yeah, we built some good stuff. A little bit disappointed by this match, although I've learnt my lesson with the technical masterclass. But yeah, the balls are rolling. Double or Nothing is slowly becoming stacked. And happy days. Good shows back to back. We've also got the TNT title that's going to be at Double or Nothing too. So that's 4 matches announced today, I believe. And I'm sure over the coming weeks there's going to be more. So thank you very much for watching, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. Do whatever you want. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Yeah.